blabbed a lot, guys. Hopefully you took screenshots because we got to get rolling because we got six killers to hear from tonight. I love the format of this call so much because it's less of me talking and more getting the nuts and bolts, 5 to 7 minutes from our top people of what they can do to help you succeed in the business and also give them some love and recognition. So that being said, guys, let's drop a J in the chat because we're going to start with Jason, which I'm really excited about, represented by Platinum, right? We have two people from Platinum, one from Savage, and two from Vantage tonight, so that is going to be awesome. Jason, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Jason,
I'm
do you
glad,
go
I'm glad I
by...
can go first. First of all, thank you for letting me go first.
Oh, heck yeah.
Fired up.
We're excited to have you on. Now, do you go by Jason or do you go by Sean? Because I feel like I've seen it both ways.
My name is Sean Jason, and I use the middle name Jason.
Okay, perfect. I want to make sure. So we dropped a J, which was correct, which I love being right. Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for getting on with us tonight. You've been killing it back to back to back, right? Not a one-hit wonder. Now, for anyone on the team, Jason, who doesn't know your story or your background with FFL, can you give us the quick rundown?
Yes. So I'm not going to go too far back. I was going to go back to when I was born or when I was like two, walking around, but I'll just take it up a little bit. I actually started selling when I was 14 years old. Okay. I was doing door-to-door sales, selling subscriptions to the newspaper. So I was like ready to go when I was like a kid. So as I got older, I wanted to do my own business. And a lot of people don't know this. I haven't shared this with a lot of people yet. I wanted to do my own business. So I went to open up a hair salon. So I actually went to hair school and I was a hairstylist for many years. And so then I was cutting hair for a friend of mine. I went to the dealership and to do haircuts for the guy's dealership. The guy's like, "What are you doing, man? You could be making a bunch of money doing this, selling cars." So I was like, "Okay, I'll try it out." Sold cars for like 15 years. I got stuck in the car business, but I did hardcore sales, which I learned a lot, how to close people and stuff like that. So got out of that, came into life insurance, had no clue what I was doing. I started with a company about 7 years ago, and I was doing door to door again, right? This is back when we were doing door to door. And so I didn't have any experience. I figured I was sold cars, I could sold everything, I could do this too. I kind of got thrown to the wolves with this company I went with, bought these leads, knocking on doors. People weren't answering. They're like, "Just knock on the neighbor." And I'm like, "Okay, that sounds like cold knocking to me." So I basically just had a hard time. I did it for a while. Then I went with another company who provided the leads, worked with them for over 4 years, like 4.5 years, and did very well. I was like one of the top three people, and they're winning trips to here, there, whatever. And come to find out that this huge production I was doing for this company was making a lot of other people money. So I ran into, actually got a call. I put in for Family First Life. I'm like, let me check it out. Got a call from Dom Rogers. He called me up and he's like, Dom, you know how Dom is. And I'm like, we talked for a little bit, and I don't like to brag about my numbers. So I just showed him what I was doing over the past, whatever it was. I did like $1 million a year into business for this other company. He's like, "Man, what are you doing? And I'm making like 160 grand a year. So I wasn't making very much for doing all this huge production, right? I thought I was doing good. So he's like, "Just come on." I pulled the trigger immediately, came over here. My first month, I think, didn't do a full month. It was like 17,000 issue paid. Then I was doing like 20,000, 25. I think I'm getting too much into this, but this is how I started in this about a year and a half ago, FFL.
I love that. So, Jason, and I love that you talked about all that because that's actually perfect. So, you've done a little bit of everything in sales. You've done cars, you've done door knocking, you've done where they give you the leads, you've done where you have no leads, which I think is so important because there's a lot of people on this call right now that they're not sure. And they're like, maybe have a foot in over here, a foot in over here, maybe this opportunity is better. You've done it all. Why has this opportunity since you started been the best? Or why has it been the most profitable for you based on everything you've done in the past?
It's definitely been the most profitable, but you know what? I mean, a lot of people say, "Well, yeah, you make more money." Money is great, but really the support. I mean, just because I came from somewhere where I didn't have a whole lot of support. And then the other company I worked for many years, they kind of micromanaged. And not that I didn't want to work, because I used to work 5 days a week, and I used to leave my desk, and for 15 minutes, they'd be calling me after I wrote like 5,000 for the day. And they're like, "Where are you at?" And I'm like, "I'm just taking a break." But here, I work 7 days a week, and I don't feel overworked because I want to work. I want to be in the environment. Everywhere else, I mean, I worked in the car business for all those years, working 12 hours a day, like, and not selling anything, like the whole day, spending outside. I was in, I live in Florida now, but I'm from Colorado. So I was in the snow, back and forth to work, both uphill, both ways, or whatever they used to say. But yeah, I mean, it's so much better. I guess to answer your question, I kind of go off track quite a bit, but to answer your question, it's so much just the support. Like, I want to go to work. You know what I mean? And being the other job I had before, I kind of just was there by myself. I mean, they were recording every call that I did, and then later on they'd show me what I did. And then now it's like we're on the Zoom, we're helping people, we're getting help. It's just night and day. It really is. So for the people that are brand new, I mean, I've been thrown to the wolves in life insurance, and I thought I could sell it with all the experience I've had in sales, but I needed help. I really did. I needed help, and this is for somebody coming in. I can say this that I wish I would have came here 7 years ago. I do, because it would have been I would have been at the top, which is where I'm going.
You're going there right now. But Jason, I love that too because it really is. It's kind of the best of both worlds. Like you're like, I'm independent, I get to run my own business, but the team is there and the support is there when I need it, which is so important for you guys to understand that about this opportunity because you are your own boss. You do make your own decisions. You do choose what to plug into. You are 1099, you are commission only, but then the support system is there for you to fall back on, which I think can be really overwhelming one way or another in other sales opportunities, which I think is awesome. So Jason, I love being super transparent, being real and raw, which I know you do too. So straight up, you've been back to back having huge months. What are you doing that you think mostly, we won't say the people on this call, because we're not calling, but people that are not where they want to be in this business, what are one or two or three things that you're doing that they're not doing, that if they did that, it would change their results?
Here's what I did because I was doing like 20, 25, 30,000 my first part of being here. Because I've been here a year and a half total. So I was doing like 20, 30. I was just lingering around that 20 to 30,000 like for a while. Okay. Which everybody's gonna think, well, that's good. I want to be there too. But what I changed was my schedule. So I would work 9 to 7, okay, like maybe 6 days a week, take Sunday off. Now I do the same schedule, but I detail my schedule and I'm intentional about the time that I work. So when I used to work 9 to 7, something over here, look at that squirrel over there. I mean, you start getting distracted, right? So maybe I worked the whole day. I thought I did, but I really didn't. So what I did is I detailed my schedule. I put I'm going to work from 9 to 12, no distractions. Okay. Dialing the phone, whatever I'm going to be doing, I'll be working. And then I'll take a little bit of a break. And then I'll do from like 12:30 to 3. And then, every a block of 2 or 3 hours, but I was intentional and I was actually doing it as opposed to having one big, huge shift of 10 hours. Sounds like, oh my God, 60 hours a week. That's crazy. I broke it down. And actually, there was one day where I actually said, you know what? I'm going to write down the exact time when I start. So if it's 9:01 or 8:57, if the exact time I step away to go to the bathroom, I get something to eat. I wrote everything down. At the end of the day, I only worked like 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, that's not even enough time to do what I need to do. So I just was more intentional with my schedule. I think that's the biggest thing is this job is not hard. The hardest thing about this business is showing up. And actually, you can show up on Zoom. We're on Zoom right now, but you have to show up on Zoom and actually be intentional and actually be working. Because who knows, you might be on Zoom all day, but we're on our phone doing something else. You know what I mean? So really, it's being intentional about what you're going to do. Why would you show up if you're not going to do this business and grow?
So true. And I used to do that too. And also, like, I love how you said, like, you were kind of lying to yourself. Like, I would be like, oh, I took a 30-second phone call. So I was working. And it was like, no, that was like what you did for the whole 3 hours. You weren't working because you took a 30-second phone call. So I love that so much, being intentional about what you're doing. And I think that I would agree with you is probably one of the biggest factors between success and failure. And also just getting real with yourself, guys. Like, some of you guys are telling yourself, I'm working my butt off. And really, like, if someone were looking in on what you're doing, they'd be like, no way. So, Jason, are we going to see you at Ignite?
Um, Possibly. I've got some stuff going on. Actually, I don't want to break up this whole thing, but um, my wife's dad just passed away on Saturday, so we're probably not going to go. I mean, and you know what? I sound good. I sound good because I'm like in the zone right now with this, and I'm trying to set that aside. But it actually taught me quite a bit because her dad didn't have a life insurance, and I can go on forever. And I don't want to take up everybody's time, but there's one thing I want to say real quick to everybody who's new that you can, if you just show up and put in the time, you will literally run into sales. You'll run into policies if you just show up. So everybody thinks I got to have all this experience. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. We have all that help on Zoom. You just need to be there and show up. So you just show up there on Zoom and you'll get all the help you need. You don't have to have the experience. We'll help you get it as you go. This is not you can't just read a book on life insurance and figure out, hey, now I know how to sell life insurance. Let me go right to it. It's got to be hands-on experience. That's how we do it. And that's how I like it here. It's just, that's what I like about it, is everybody's here helping everybody. Whether you're upline, downline, getting paid on this or that, we're all helping everybody. And that's really what I like about this company.
Well, I love that so much, and we're so proud of you. And we'll be sending prayers as well, for your loss. And I think that's so important, guys. And think about that. This is what we do and why it's so important. And we got to think about, putting ourselves in our own families in these shoes. So, Jason, you have been killing it. I wish we had a gazillion more hours. We'll get you on a training call by yourself one of these days. But guys, he dials on platinum dials. Is that right, Jason?
Yep.
All right, cool guys. So if you're new, you're popping in between Zooms, whatever it is, you're on our team and he loves Inspire Group and he loves Riyadh and he loves Bryce. So obviously Dom. So he's here to help the squad. So if you guys pop over to Platinum, you guys can hear him actually making his sales and get your sales tips from him. So Jason, thank you so much for getting on with us tonight. That was great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, let's drop an A. We have our next platinum producer here. Let's drop an A in the chat, an AP, if you will, for not only approved premium, but Angela P, which I'm really excited. How are you, girl?
Hello.
How are you? $55,000 that you paid last month?
Crazy. It's crazy.
Did you even know? Like, did you feel like I'm gonna do 55K this month, or did it just happen?
No, I felt like I was going to do 55K in March doing that contest, but then a lot of it crossed over.
It
So
it came in April. Well, you were pushing and we're super proud of
yeah,
you. So, Angela, you're crushing it. Now, I feel like I remember you started FFL a little bit before and then you didn't and then you came back. Is
yeah,
that correct?
yeah. 4 or 5 years ago, I started when it was in home, and I lasted maybe a week. Just
You
it
were like,
just
no.
wasn't. It just wasn't for me. It was like I found myself in very weird situations, and I just told Riyadh, nah, no way.
Not feeling it. So once we went virtual, that's when you were like, I'll give it another shot.
Riyadh actually kept in touch with me periodically, like 6 months or like every, however many months. It was like, hey, how's work doing? But this last time, I think it was December 24. I was just coming back from Cancun and he messaged like, hey, how's it going? What's new? Do you like your job? And I was like, no, no, I hate it. This might be the right time. Although that it did take me, several, like another 7 months to get on board just because, I had the health insurance and I had a bunch of stuff going on. I had some knee injuries and some sports injuries. So, but yeah, he kept in touch, and this time it was right. I am gonna say I'm so 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 grateful because I mean, truly, it really, really, and I don't, I know I say this a lot, but I don't think anybody understands how much it aligns. Like this opportunity is aligned so much for me with my walk with Christ and just everything. So I'm so, so grateful.
Well, good for you, girl. And we're just excited. And I think that's so important, guys, because everyone has their own journey here. So I always love to ask about that. Like some people are like, I'm not hitting my goals today, or I didn't make my first sale today, or I didn't sell $10 million today. And the reality is like your
Yeah.
journey here is going to be different, right? Angela was like, hey, 5 years ago, now this was the time
Yeah.
frame. So Angela, talk to us about some things because now, and also,
Sure.
guys, if you're building a team, drip, 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 because Riyadh kept dripping on her until it was the right time. So someone might
Yeah.
say no today, and no is today, but it's not no forever. So
Right.
Angela, give us some things because 55K is not 20, it's not 15, that's 55, which is a lot. So give us some
Yeah.
things that you're doing that you think could really help these guys up their game.
I know it's really scary to spend money, especially like if for the people who are new and that don't have money, but you just gotta do it because if you have a really good mentor like I have with Riyadh, before I came into this, before I started dialing in those last few days of August, so this is gonna be like May is like my ninth month. So we'll say like when before I even jumped into it, in my head, I was like, I know how successful Riyadh is. I know that if whatever he tells me to do, I cannot give excuses. I'm not going to say, oh, but this, oh, what, it's just, hey, I trust what he's doing in this business. I've watched it for so many years. It's a yes. It is like, if he tells me to do something, I'm going to do it because it is a copy and paste. So I know that it's scary. I know that it's super scary. Everybody is scared. Everybody. But if you had one chance to bet on yourself, why not make it now and follow like just copy and paste and follow it. It's not rocket science. So I mean that's like the number one thing. If you are coachable, if you've never been on phone sales, if you are coachable, like I'm going to say it even louder, coachable. Like just yes. Yes, sir. Yeah, you don't have to say sir, ma'am, but get my point. Yes, I'll do it. Yes. Okay, I gotcha.
Angela, I love that so much, and I want to ask you a follow-up question
Sure.
because you have to be kind of really unemotional about that. And especially working with Riyadh, who one of my best friends, we love him, but sometimes your mentor can say something and it comes across in a way that you're like, whoa. And
Correct.
other people can sometimes take that, right? And it could be like, it could be me. Oh,
Correct.
he said this and she was being rude. Oh, Nicole's being a bee today. Or, oh,
Correct.
Taylor told me to do this and she came across rude or whatever it is. So how do you really separate, hey, this person's trying to help me and I have to do what they say versus like, oh, this person is telling me what to do and I don't like it.
It's just in your head. I mean, my background, I was an athlete, I was military, and you just got to let it go because ultimately, regardless of what mood that person is in, if Riyadh, throws me to the fire or sounds like he's yelling or whatnot, ultimately, I know he wants me to be the best that I can be. I know that he wants me to crush it. So it's like, what is the big deal if that day he says something that somebody might take wrong, or if I say something that somebody might take wrong? Ultimately, you have to understand it is for your success, and sometimes you have to walk through that fire.
I love that so much. It's such a good answer. And it's so true because it's like I can be emotional and say, oh, I'm not coachable or I'm not going to take what this person's saying, or I can do it and take it on the chin and have $55,000 in my bank account in 30 days,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
crazy. So, okay, you've been absolutely phenomenal. Again, I feel like this
thank
is just
you.
now I love these calls, but now I'm like, oh my God, next time we're doing like three people so we could get more in. So, Angela, give us one last thing. If you had one thing that you feel like is going to be the biggest takeaway for these guys, what would you give them?
I mean, just go for it. Like when you're starting out, like you've got to do everything that everyone else is doing. You got to call the old leads. You got to dial, but it's not going to be like that forever. And I'm not saying I'm not dialing, because I am dialing right now. I'm not having the best month. I say that every month, but I'm not having the best month. But in the beginning, just do it. Swallow your pride, get rid of your ego, just do all the hard shit, do it all, because eventually it's not as hard. Like, you don't have to have all the ups and downs, you don't have to continue to keep dialing down. I mean, you should still, obviously, right? But I have a system, like I have a dialer, I have an assistant. So it's not always going to be like that. You just have to understand that the hard things, just get them out of the way. Get them out of the way. Say yes, I'll do it. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Whatever you want to say. Yes, and yes, Riyadh. Yes, whoever. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Get all that shit out of the way, and then you'll be there. You'll, like, sooner than you know it, you'll be there. It's crazy. I don't know. It's
I love
crazy.
it. Get the hard shit out of the way now, and it gets easier.
Yeah.
I love
Super
that.
simple.
You've been killer. Thank you so much for getting on with us tonight, girl.
Thanks
And we
for
will
having me.
continue to watch you crush it, which we know you will. All right, guys, we are on to our savages, which I'm very excited. So drop a J in the chat, another J, a JB, because now we're on to Mr. Jacob Ball, who had his biggest month ever at $51,000 issue paid, which is huge. Jake, can you hear me?
Yep, thanks for having me.
Jake, do you go by Jake or Jacob?
You can do either or. Jake. Jake's
I like
fun.
Jake. That sounds savage. That sounds like that sounds like insurance selling Jake, which I love. Okay, well, you've been killing it. $51,000. Where did that come from?
Just kept putting in the work. And
All
then
right, so
eventually that's where I ended up.
all right, so I'm kind of cutting you off, but I remember a couple months ago, you're in the Boca office and you're struggling. And Nicole and I are talking, and she's like, "Hey, can you talk to Jacob?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be in the office. I'll say, hey, what's up?" And we made that video for Integrity Connect, and you're like, I don't know, I got some leads, whatever. Talk to us about the struggle, how you came out of that, what you changed, and why you didn't quit, because a lot of people quit when it gets hard.
Yeah, so when I first started out, I kind of like, I don't know, I took like kind of like a lone wolf route and thought I could just kind of figure it out. I didn't really use the resources that were around me, and yeah, it made it much more difficult. And eventually I started seeing people like I came from sales background. I was selling like T-Mobile and yeah, ended up selling life insurance. And I would see people, they're like construction workers, and they'd come here and they'd start outperforming me and outgrowing me. And I'm like, wow, I just need to tap in, do what everyone else is doing, like stick to what like Nicole and everyone else is on the team is doing. And I think I was struggling for long enough to where like I had a lot of it down. I was just missing a few pieces. So the moment I really started to tap in, it all started to turn around like super quick. It was crazy.
So how about your mindset during that time? Like what was the switch for you? And obviously you changed, you plugged into the resources, things like that. But how about like the way you thought about the business? Did that change at all?
Nothing changed. I mean, I saw all these people from all these different backgrounds just crushing it, doing well. Like you said earlier, everyone has their own story. And like I was just talking to my brother earlier today, and I was like, dude, it's so crazy because literally just a few months ago, like December, January, I was working super hard, like 10 to 14 hours a day, work 7 days a week, a little lighter on the weekends, but um, after months of that, it's like I was telling him today, I was like, dude, I was really fighting some demons during that time, just like the struggle of my mindset. But my perspective on the actual business itself, like it never changed. I knew it was just a matter of time. I was working super hard, and anyone's capable, and I know I'm just as capable as anyone. So yeah, I just kept at it, and I knew that eventually I'd get to where I want to be.
I love that so much because it is really easy. And I'm so glad you didn't do this. And that's probably like a contributing factor to why you're still here and why you're crushing it. A lot of people, Jake, when they're in that situation, it's not going how they want it to go. They look at the business and they say the business doesn't work. But you looked around at everybody else and you're like, if it works for them, then it must be a me thing, right? Which I think is so powerful that you were able to do that. So Jake, talk to us. Let's get into some nitty gritty. Do you do IULs, final expense? What's kind of your bread and butter?
Yeah, I'm doing IULs. I love the truckers. They're amazing. My favorite people to talk to by far.
Okay, and what are some things that you do on your sales that you think really helps like solidify your sales, helps get those closed?
Yeah, I always take an approach like I always say like be the banker. Like when you sit down at the bank and you have an appointment with the banker, you just your posture and your demeanor, the way you actually talk to them, everything, it's like you're getting that trust and confidence. Like they're confident in you just by the way, the knowledge, how you get that knowledge across, the way you're speaking to them. And yeah, they take you seriously. And it's like once you show them your credentials, whatever way you do that, like I have a website. Once I show them that website, and I'd like to think from the jump, I'm pretty good at like, getting confidence in me from them. And once I do that, it's like it's a done deal. And that's one of the biggest things that causes people to lose deals is not having that trust and not sounding confident in yourself. And if you're not confident in yourself, in turn, they're not going to be confident in you.
So Jake, a lot of people they get nervous about IULs and they think that they're like going to be complicated or I'm going to have to know all this like advanced, mumbo jumbo. What are some of the resources that you used to kind of just like get your knowledge real quick and then jump on the phones or what's some trainings that you plugged into? Is there anything that you did that you feel like if these people plugged into that, they would get IULs down?
I'm like the perfect person you could have asked that to because I started with mortgage protection. Then I went to veterans. Then I went to general final expense. And I was just so terrified of IULs. Like it just felt like this huge, complicated thing, like stock indexes and whatever, and participation rates and all these crazy terms. And when I actually got into it, and that's what I mean by like, I wasn't doing what my team was doing. They're all doing IULs. And I'm like, oh, I'll do it the way that's comfortable. And eventually, when I got out of my comfort zone and I got into the IULs, I I was still like super scared. And when I got into it, I just started thinking of it like it really is just a whole life policy on steroids and kind of just a mix of like a term policy and a whole life. Like you take the good aspects of each kind of policy, like whole life and term, you put it into one and leave out some of the negative aspects, and you got yourself an IUL. And it's not complicated at all. And the rest of it just kind of comes with time, like all the nuances with it.
And I love that so much, guys, because what he's saying to explain it to us is probably exactly how you explain it to a client. Like
Yeah.
you're like, hey, John, client John, it's you take all the best parts of an insurance policy, and if you can qualify, you get all the best parts and you don't get as many of the negative parts. Sound good? Yeah, sound good. So I think a lot of times we overcomplicate it. I did that at first too. Like I'm like reading all these words and all this stuff, and it's like if it's complicated for us, it's complicated for the client. So, Jake, I'm literally so proud of you. When I saw your numbers, I was like, dude, do we have two Jake Balls or is this like the Jake Ball? Because he went from like struggling to now killing it. And I love that so much for you. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so happy. And I'm just excited that you're going to continue to do it. So, if you had one piece of information that you felt was the most important to leave these guys with, what would it be?
Um, just stay consistent. Like if you're new, again, everyone has their own journey. It could be really difficult mentally and even like physically if you're juggling another job or whatever the case is. And, managing your finances around investing in leads and everything. It's difficult. It's not easy, but again, like some people crush it in a month. Some people don't make a sale for the first 3 months. And that shouldn't be discouraging. That should be like motivation because it's like if you could go not making a sale for several months to absolutely crushing it like Jenna, then it's like anyone could do it. It's literally just a matter of time. Stay consistent, put in the work, put in the effort. Don't get try your best not to get discouraged, and it's just a matter of time before everything falls into place for you.
I love it. Well, you absolutely crushed it. Thank you so much for getting on with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, let's drop a DP in the chat because we're going to hear from Dove. Dove, how are you?
Good, how are you? Thanks for
Good.
having me.
I'm so excited that you're on with us tonight and you've been absolutely killing us or killing it. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I work 10, 12 hours a day, get on even when I don't want to. Like I just moved to Arizona Thursday. So it's like the whole time adjustment is getting used to, but I'm still waking up and starting dialing 5 a.m. here, go 12 hours, sometimes a little bit more. It all depends on how much I actually want to work. But just always showing up whether I want to get on or not. It's like the days that I don't want to still show up and put in the work because at the end of the day, if I don't show up, I'm not going to make money. If I don't show up, I'm not going to protect families.
Yeah, that's huge. I love that. Now, Dove, a lot of people don't want to do that stuff. They don't want to get up at 5. They don't want to, now obviously you're doing 50K, so there's going to be a bit of a difference. But were you always doing those, or is that something that you adjusted to be able to put up these numbers?
So I was always working a lot. I'm just more mindful of my time. Like I would dial, but kind of do it half-assed and not actually always dial. I would say that I'm dialing, I would take a break, and now I started always keeping my phone on do not disturb. If I want you to get in touch with me, I will. If I don't, you won't be able to get in touch with me. I've blocked tons of friends because they would blow up my phone and get past do not disturb. So I would just block them and then I would see them. They would message me on Instagram being like, why did you block my number? And I'm like, because you're blowing me up in the middle of a work day. And I take my work serious. So in order for me to hit the goals that I want to achieve, then I need to disconnect from everybody. It's nothing personal. I do that with a lot of people.
That is savage, Dove. I don't know if I've ever blocked somebody's phone number because they were distracting me from dials, but that's the difference between making sales and not making sales. So, okay, now let's jump on that really quick. When you started the business, this is the first time you were selling life insurance, right?
Correct.
Did
Never
you
done it.
have did you have people in your circle that were negative about it and thought it was weird or it wasn't going to work or it was a
Oh,
scam?
absolutely. My
So,
sister, the
how did you
first
overcome that?
lock-in, oh my bad.
No.
So the first lock-in was like a week and a half after I started. And while I was there, my sister called me and it was just like, oh, you're getting involved with another like pyramid scheme, Ponzi scheme. And I just asked her straight up, like, what company does your husband have his life insurance policy with? And it's with National Life Group. And I just flipped out at her and I was like, listen, I'm contracted with them. So you don't know what you don't know, so just zip it. And ever since then, she's shown a little respect, but we still butt heads. She still gives me crap about it. And I just canceled out all the noise and negativity. It's like I still have plenty of friends to this day who talk crap about this, but at the end of the day, they work 9 to 5s, they hate their life, and they're barely getting by. Whereas for me, I could really travel anywhere and still get paid, whereas they can't. They have to clock in and clock out to get paid.
I love that. Isn't that funny? And I was saying this, I think, on Nicole's call last week. It's like all the people that have ever given me any sort of like razz about what we do are people that are not where they want to be in their lives. But that's just like how it works out. So, Dove, obviously, not everything is going to go the way you want it to go every single day, right? Sometimes you don't have huge months. Sometimes you don't make sales. Sometimes even blocking people's numbers. What's a key mindset thing that you can give these guys that helps you keep your head in the game?
Yeah, so I mean, I adjusted my schedule to help with my mindset and being on point. I always used to get Jenna crap for going to the gym in the middle of the day. And once I made that switch, because I was always like a morning gym person, and I made the switch to doing it midday and breaking up my day, that changed so much for me and my business. And I don't regret doing that at all. And that probably helped propel me so much with this. Because you need breaks, otherwise you're going to burn out. If I'm having a bad day, I got hung up on a lot, got F off a lot of times, then I'm just going to close out my computer, go for a half-hour walk, reset, and then get back to the phones.
That's huge. And I think that's that reset part that some people struggle with. Like for me, I used to be like, I'm resetting, and then all of a sudden I'm not dialing the whole rest of the day. So that's the part that we have to really get down, guys, is once you reset, take the break that you need, 30 minutes, like Dove said, but then you're coming back. So, Dove, how much are you spending on leads per week? And was that weird for you at first, or were you always comfortable spending money?
Yeah, so now I'm spending 2K a week. When I first got started, I was spending like 300 a week. Some weeks I wouldn't buy leads at all, and then just lie to Jenna and everybody else and said, "Oh yeah, I bought leads this week." And once I started being more consistent buying leads, I started consistently selling more. And then I slowly started getting more confident in increasing my lead spend. And once I started doing that, then I started selling at an even higher level. And ever since then, I just have slowly been creeping up and spending more week after week.
That is so funny, but it's also so relatable because everyone on this call is like, you guys have done that. Like, you've lied to your upline about whether or not you bought leads. So thanks, Dove, for speaking that into existence. And also, guys, they know if you bought them or not because they can tell by your production. So
Yeah.
that's been amazing, Dove. You've been killing it. We're just excited to see you to continue to crush it. And thank you so much for getting on with the team tonight to share some
Yeah.
love with us.
Thanks for having me.
I love it. All right, guys, we are going to keep rolling. So we're going to go over tonight, and that's fine because we only do this once a month. So let's stay locked in for these last two. In the meantime, because I forgot and I want to know everybody. So Dove's spending $2,000 a week on leads. Angela and Jason and Jake, can you guys drop in the chat what you guys are consistently spending every week as well? If you don't mind, because I think we're going to see a correlation, guys, on what these guys are willing to invest in their business versus what they're getting out of it. And I think that's super important. So, all right, Andrew Duranzo, guys, drop an AD in the chat. Andrew, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, thanks for hopping on with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling after March Madness?
Feeling great. Ready to work.
Well, you've been crushing it. So, Drew, you've been around the business for a long time and in different capacities. And we're just excited to have you on the team. And now 35K last month is no joke. Talk to us about that because you've been around, but then you weren't selling and now you're killing it. So what made you want to do that?
Yeah, I mean, so for the past like 3.5 years, I've been working with Sean, going to all these offices, seeing everybody make this money doing sales. And it's like you get to a point where you just keep going. Honestly, it was when I took Daniela, my fiance, out to Cancun, and we were in the meeting, and she was like, "Why aren't you doing this?" And I was like, "That's a good question." So I had that thought in my mind for a while. I mean, being able to do this is definitely it's definitely eye-opening because for those of you guys that don't know, my first and only death claim up until this point was my mom about 4 years ago. So I mean, this business is real. Like when we're doing this with people, it's real. So ever since that, I mean, this is just it's definitely I don't know. I take that into account because when we're on the phone with other people, it's like we're doing this the right way. We're putting, yeah, we the leaderboards are great, but at the end of the day, we're protecting families. So when their worst day comes, we're there to actually help them. So I mean, I'm just trying to sell as much insurance and get as many people in the business. It's great for everybody, the client and us. We're all making money.
Yeah. Drew, that's huge and obviously super powerful. And with your mom, obviously we love you and we're sending prayers. I know it's been a bit now, but it never goes away. But so now let's jump into when you're recruiting, right? I think it can be really easy from our social medias to be like, oh, we make a lot of money and this is a really good opportunity and blah, blah, blah. How are you talking to people that you're bringing in about what you just talked about, like how actually important this product is, how important it is to do right by clients, to do the right thing? What is kind of your conversations that you're having with people about that?
I mean, I do recruit a lot. I mean, 99% of my people are warm market off social media, so they see the money that's coming in from sales and stuff like that. But I'm just basically telling them like this is real. Everybody, I mean, I'm sure with everybody recruiting, everybody thinks this is fake. These are fake numbers. These are just numbers that we're like putting, but we're not really getting. They don't think we're at 100% commission or even 115. So I'm telling them, I'm showing them bank statements, and it's just I'm being very transparent with these people, the ups and the downs of the business. Yeah, there's chargebacks. That's what people are like, aren't there chargebacks in insurance? Yeah, there are chargebacks. That's a part of the business. That's just, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's like if you have a chargeback problem, no, you have a sales problem. We have to fix something. You're not providing enough value to the client. And that's why whenever the bills get tight, what's the first thing they're getting rid of? The life insurance. So we just have to fix something on your part and there will be no chargeback problem. I'm just being transparent with everybody that's coming on board. Like this is very hard in the beginning. All my guys that are coming in are part-time. I tell them it's going to be the hardest time working basically two full-time jobs. So if you want to do it, cool. If you don't want to do it, cool. I mean, I put 75 people into testing. What, 32 of them got licensed, 14, 15 sold a policy so far in the last 6 months. So it's all a numbers game, just like sales.
Drew, that's huge. And now that you talked about that, tracking all of your stuff, it sounds like you're pretty organized and you're tracking everything. How important is that for you in these big months? Sounds like you know your data.
It's very important. Dom caught me a few times where I didn't track my data. So it's like now I'm tracking my data because if you don't have data, then we're just going off the whim. And that's what I'm normally used to. So that's the probably the hardest thing for me. I should probably get an assistant like yesterday. But that's definitely been the hardest thing, just trying to stay organized with all the sales, all the recruits coming in, checking up with people, just like with Riyadh and Angela. It's the same thing, drip on these people because I have guys that tell me no. Like my brother and sister 3 years ago, I was trying to get validation from them about life insurance when I got out of the fire academy. They're like, why are you going to sell life insurance? I'm like, well, look at the money these people are making. They're like, oh, that's just bullshit. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, I'm see this every day. I'm like, you guys, and now they're getting their licenses. Like,
Yeah.
stay with your people. If you talked to somebody 2 years ago, check in on them. I'm telling you.
Stay with your people, guys. I love that. Now, Drew, what are some of the things that you are doing? Obviously, you're building a lot of value, but what are some of the non-negotiable things that you're doing every day that is giving you 35K months?
I think just now that I'm hiring people and other agents, coaching them up, it gives me a reason. Yeah, I like the personal sales, but I also like to be on there for them as well. But just getting on Zoom no later, like I get to the office, if I'm here, 7:45, 7:30 every day. If I'm here at the office. If I'm not, if I'm at home, 7:30, 7:45 every day. I'm on Zoom for at least 12 hours a day. So that is a non-negotiable. Every day we're getting on Zoom and we're dialing from 8 to noon, hour break, give or take, whatever gym, and then we're getting back on from 1 to 8,
And how much are you spending on leads?
1,500 a week.
15, were you always spending 1,500 a week or did that just start?
No, that just started maybe 2.5, 3 months ago.
Okay, so was that a mindset thing about spending money on leads, or was that like you had to warm up to the idea, or where do you think that changed?
Self-belief. Had to believe in myself that these people wanted the insurance and that they're going to get the insurance. Before that, I didn't really have belief. Like 4 years ago when I first started, I had zero self-belief. After working with Sean, I have 100% self-belief. So it's actually believing in yourself that these people are, they want the insurance. They signed up for the insurance. They're going to get the insurance, but are they going to get it from you?
That's huge. That was mic drop moment, Drew. All right. So I just can't. That was so good. All right. So you've been crushing it, obviously. We just got a lot of good nuggets for you. What is the one thing that you think, if there was one thing that these guys had to leave this call and implement tomorrow that you do, whether it's on your sales, whether it has to do with leads, office, whatever you're saying, and it could be something you already said that will change the game for them to go from 10, 15K to 35K?
Mindset with these clients. And honestly, the biggest thing is probably all the outside noise. Don't even listen to it. Don't intake it. Don't, whatever, if any negative energy is coming your way, just try to block it out as much as possible. Whatever your friends are saying, family's saying, your spouses, whatever they're saying, block that shit out. I'm telling you, it can be, it's bad. So whatever you do, just keep a good mindset going and you'll kill it. Just believe in yourself. These people filled out these forms for life insurance. Just go sell them the damn life insurance. Help somebody out.
Drew, that's savage, but I can tell you've been working with Sean because you're starting to sound like like I'm like I like you're speaking and I'm like that's something Sean would say. So
Well,
I think that's amazing. Obviously, we're super proud of you and we're excited to have you on our team, but I think that's important, guys. If you can channel that mindset a little bit.
yeah.
I don't know what's going on here. But if you can channel that mindset, and I think take everything Drew just said about the clients want it, you're going to get it for them. Believe in yourself, invest in your business, show up at the office at 7 a.m. or on dials. That's huge. So, Drew, thank you so much for getting on with us tonight. I know you had a packed schedule, so we appreciate it.
Thank you, Marissa. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, guys, one more, and I'm very excited. Drop an MG in the chat. Michael, can you hear me?
Hey, Marissa, thank you for having me.
Thank you for getting on. Does anyone call you Michael, or does everyone just call you Griff?
Griff, Sean likes to say Griff.
Because I wrote down on my paper just Griff because I feel like that's what everyone calls you. And then I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to
Yeah,
do that, but I feel like now we have that relationship. So I'm going with it. So, Griff, talk to us about how you got into the business because I know that you have not been here that long. So talk to us about that.
yeah. So Nick Pompili brought me into the business. We've been best friends for probably 10 years or so. We played baseball together when we were like 8 years old. And so I was kind of doing my own thing, right? Nick and I got our licenses at the same time. I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I was doing my own thing. I was running a software company with some friends. It was like a startup. And Nick, we got our license at the same time. And so I saw Nick, I saw his trials and tribulations. He really, really struggled at the beginning. And, it was inspiring to see how well, right, Nick just stuck with it and fought through it. I mean, it took him 3, 4, 5, 6 months to really see any results, right? And I always said, like, okay, like I just saw Nick go through this. Like he's absolutely crushing right now. This is always a backup plan for me. It's here if I need it. And eventually, the stars just aligned and it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm ready to give this a shot and more than a shot because it's like I left myself no other option. It's I'm gonna commit to this and there's no other choice but to like succeed and do super well with it.
Well, good for you. And you have done just that, which is insane. So what's crazy though is you've had your insurance license for 5 years. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, absolutely. I was annoyed every time I had to renew it every couple of years, but I said I might use this one day, so I'm going to keep it, and I just held myself to that, and the timing just worked out. So
Yeah, and like
yeah.
we've been saying, like everyone's journey is different. So
Hmm.
you're in the office right now at 9:01 p.m. You and Drew, right?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So talk to us about some of those daily non-negotiable, obviously you being in the office, but what are some of the things that you're doing every day that are leading to these big months that you think other people can implement ASAP?
Yeah, I want to give Jake Ball a quick shout out. We talked about this a little while ago, but when we first started, him and I were absolutely in the trenches here. Um, we just lived at the office. I mean, my schedule when I first started, I get to the office at 8:39, depending on my first appointment of the day, and I'm here absolutely all day. I tried to make things work with like having a life outside of the office. I used to love playing pickleball. I played pickleball for like 4 or 5 hours a day. I got really good and I really enjoyed it. And I kind of realized that just so many sacrifices had to be made and I have no life anymore except for selling insurance. retired from pickleball. And I mean, that's it. So just like Dove said as well, I had to be like, I always like to say, like, I am absolutely like autistic with my schedule. I get to the office 8, 9 o'clock, go to the gym at 12 o'clock every single day. It's like a good midday reset. And then that's it. I'm at the office for the rest of the day. 9 or 8, 9, 10 o'clock, really, whenever I just like am a zombie and I can't stand looking at my computer anymore, that's when I'll leave.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good metric to track. If when I feel like a zombie, that's when I can stop dialing
Yeah,
and leave the office. So
yeah.
that's huge. Now, okay, Griff, so what about for leads? How much are you spending?
I'm spending a lot of money on leads. I spent 13 grand on leads last month, 400 a day. I'm spending 400 a day this month as well. Month before that, 300 a day. I just believe in myself, and I'm not scared to spend money because I know you have to spend money to make money. It's like, it's so obvious to me. Like, if you, and I'm never going to stop increasing it, right? As it makes sense. And we can talk about that a little bit, but like, um, yeah, I mean, I run like real time campaigns, right? And so I'm getting leads in every single day. Um, I know that I'm going to put the work in, and I know that my skill set is just going to get better and better. I'm so hungry to learn more every single day, take a little something from someone every day. And so as those two grow, I have no problem whatsoever increasing my ad spend on a monthly basis until, I mean, until there's no until, it's going to be forever. I'm just going to keep going.
No, that's huge. And Griff, honestly, I feel like a lot of people, what they do is they are, if you're just in it for the sales and you're just in it for the money and you're not, like you said, hungry to learn more every single day and to do better every day, it can get repetitive, right? So a lot of people would have a 48K month last month when you did 48K and then 47. So a lot of people would have a big month and then they're like, I had a big month, now let me go spend my money. So how do you reconcile that? How do you have money in your account? You're obviously making money, you're very profitable, and still be like, I'm gonna go to the office 12, 13, 14 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean, I told myself coming into this business, like the first few months, I was just like, I don't care if I make money. If I can get better every single day and not lose money on the month, then I absolutely won the month. And I have that mindset going into every single month. Like even today, like obviously I'm making money, but that's just my mindset. I'm just so hungry to like learn more, get better every single day. If I don't lose money this month, I'm gonna be happy, right? I made my ad spend for the month. I made that in the first 5 days, so like I'm good. But it's just like a never-ending journey to just learn as much as I possibly can to get better, because that's a tool for me to be able to actually, when I spend more money on leads, right? The only way I'm going to be able to make more from it is if my skill set is increasing day after day, month after month.
Yeah. And Griff, what's something that you think new agents overcomplicate?
Trying to figure stuff out on your own. I am an absolute spitting image of Nick. I mean, he is an absolute killer, and he, like at the beginning, it was a little hard for me to want to. I'm very, you know, it was hard for me to want to just completely just drop, everything and just say, okay, like I got to listen to Nick, right? I tried to change stuff up a little bit here and there with my script. It never quite worked out. It just held me back. It took me longer to get to the point, right? I kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, I have to stop trying to make it my own and start turning myself into the person that I want to be, which was Nick. And I quite literally just, I if you hear the both of us on a call right next to each other, we sound exactly the same. Everything I try to do, I just try to, I think, what would Nick do?
What would Nick do? And it is so true, right? It's just copy and paste.
Yeah,
And it is so funny. Like you'll see a new agent and they'll be like, I made a script. And I'll be like, how did you make a script? You never sold a policy. Like, why would you take something from someone who does 30, 40, 50K a month and try to adjust it when you could just say exactly what they say on the phone and have the same results?
yeah,
That's what's crazy to me is I think you're so right about that, Griffin. A lot of us do that. It's like, well, I think I know better. And it's like, why would you know better? You've not sold anything before and Nick sold 40K. And so it seems like once you kind of get through that part of the journey, it seems so obvious. But when you're in it, you can think, oh no, I definitely know what to do. So if you guys are on this call and you're taking notes and you've somehow anointed yourself the all master script maker and you haven't sold anything, you should probably just do what these guys are doing and just copy word for word. So, Griff, what are some things that you say on the phone? So are you doing final expense mostly?
Yeah, all veterans final expense.
Veterans final expense, love it. So, what are some key things that you say or do on the phone, whether it be objections or setting up the appointment, that help you close these sales and keep them on the books?
Yeah. So there's two main things that I've learned recently. I like to like, I'll learn something like a golden nugget and it'll stay with me and I'll practice it and I'll perfect it. And then like I find the next thing to really focus in on. There's two things there. And then I'll get back to that in a second. But on the actual like, right, like you need good systems in place in order to maximize like your lead spend and all that, right? Like in order for me to spend 13 grand in a month on leads, right, I need to be 100% confident that I'm doing everything I possibly can to nurture those leads, have as many touch points as I possibly can, right? And you need systems in place for that. At the beginning, right, I just tried to, you know, text people, right? As soon as it came in, I texted them, tried to schedule appointments, whatever that might be, right? And you can only keep up with so many people at once. It was like, it became very overwhelming very quickly. And I was maybe only spending $150 a day on leads. And so everyone has, right, they're like CRMs, their AI text bots, that kind of thing, right? I very early on, and I do have like a software background as well. And so I came into the business right away. I was like, okay, how can I implement what I use there in order to like help my business here? And so, you know, over the last 4 or 5 months, as my skills have been getting better, right, a friend of mine was working in the background, building systems in place to help support that. And so I have a really badass system, right, that I can nurture all my leads through. And I'd say 85% of everything that I close is a self-booked appointment on my calendar. So that's either from leads directly from my campaign or an appointment booked through like my CRM, right? And so all I have to do is show up to these calls. And I mean, the highest intent lead you have is someone who booked on your calendar, knows who's calling, and you already had that conversation. You know, they already think you had a conversation with them. And so I really take advantage of that, and it's been an absolute game changer. The two things that I've learned somewhat recently that really changed just the world for me when it comes to like my script and on the phone is one, when I first started, I used to constantly all my policies were backdated. I was like, I don't understand. Why does no one want this to start right away? It's day one coverage. And it was because of how I was offering it, right? I would always say to them, right, you know, most veterans have to start on the first, third, one of the Wednesdays of each month to align with Social Security, Disability, VA. What day works best for you? And of course, they want to set it as far as they possibly can. And I just didn't understand that for so long because it was part of my script. And then I just picked something up for one of the guys in the office, right? And instead of that, I just said, very simply, right? Now, John, because this is day one coverage, most veterans do want this to start immediately. I'm assuming you want this to start right away as well. And guess what they say every single time? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, of course, yes. And so that like flipped the switch for me and really transformed like my whole world here. I mean, it was awesome. It was the best thing ever.
And Griff, really quick, just so you guys get that for a note, a lot of times people are saying yes because you're telling them what to say.
And so
Giving them the option, right? So that second thing that he said was me just saying, this is what we're gonna do, and not giving them an option to do anything different. And guess what? No more push draft dates, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then so that's a perfect segue into the other thing that really transformed like my script and my sales for me was being assumptive, not at the end for banking, right? But as well at the very beginning. I used to constantly have people, right? I love to say this at the beginning. I thought I was doing so well with this. I said, what's got you looking into this today? Like I would always say that. And I thought it was like a good conversation starter. It really allowed me to like build rapport with people. But everyone would say, yeah, I just want $100,000. I just want $50,000. Right. And it's like being assumptive at the beginning of the sale from the get-go, the very beginning. Like, and this is, Nick pointed this out, right? He was listening to one of my calls. I was like, man, like, what am I doing wrong? And he was like, you just have to be more assumptive. Right. And so like at the beginning, every time I say, you know, we do just specialize in putting protection. And this is the same thing every single time without fail. It's We do just specialize in putting protections in place for our veterans, either to leave money behind for the family or to help cover off those final expenses. Was that pretty much what you were looking to do as well? They always say yes. Okay. And then moving forward, I see here that you had listed that you were just looking to, I see here you listed you didn't have any coverage in place at the moment, and that you were just looking to leave this behind for the wife. And so this is really where your sum is. Obviously, because you don't have anything in place at the moment, it sounds like the main priority for you is just making sure those final expenses are covered. And then, of course, if we can find something that's within budget to leave a little bit extra behind, then I'm sure you'd want to do that as well, correct? Okay. Right. And so that right there.
So Griff, you're asking them questions where they're saying yes or no to. And I hope you guys, as you guys are taking notes, you're getting that, right? If you ask an open-ended question, you're going to go down a rabbit hole of open-ended answer versus like, you filled this out because you want life insurance, right? Yes. You want that coverage today to start, right? Because that would make the most sense. Yes. So, Griff, that's fire. And I love the actual tangible sales tips because I think a lot of people are going to be able to implement this into their script or into their sales already. So you've been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for getting on with us tonight. And we're just excited to see what you continue to do.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Marissa.
Yeah, of course. All right, guys, this has been absolutely amazing. Like I said, I am just so grateful for everyone on this call, and it's so awesome to take those, best little nuggets from everybody. And I wish we could have an hour call with every single person, but I think this was fire, and I will see you guys next month. Super excited for everything that you guys are accomplishing. So thanks for hopping on with us tonight, and I will see you guys soon. Let's get back on the phones and continue to protect as many families as possible. Bye, guys.